Nice win. Let's review it together. A fine first move by your opponent. A sharp opening, allowing your opponent to build a pawn center in favor of piece development. Controlling the d4 square and leaving room for the knight to develop. Your strike at the center fights for space and central control. Their knight comes into play, supporting the center. This prepares your bishop for development. C takes d5 releases the tension between the c4 and d5 pawns, creating an asymmetrical pawn structure if black recaptures with the pawn. This pawn recapture builds a strong center and shows good chess instincts. Bishop g5 develops the bishop and pins the knight on f6. The knight cannot move without losing the queen. You permitted the opponent to win a pawn through an eventual fork. They missed a chance to win a pawn through an eventual fork. Develops the knight and supports the center. Their best option was to force isolated doubled pawns. Taking that pawn will win material for you after the follow-up trades. This move pins your knight to your king, restricting its movement. You permitted the opponent to force doubling of pawns. Your better option was to develop a bishop and attack the center. Great find. This was the only move that works. This forces the opponent to double pawns. A logical capture. Their best option was to send a queen into the game. A clear recapture. Your opponent moves their knight to escape your attack. This prepares a safe kingside castle for your king. They stop the check by interposing a piece between your bishop and their king. This move reaches across the board to win the pawn. They place their knight on a blockade square, stopping your pawn. That was a fair trade. This is a fair trade. You exchange pieces of equal value. A straightforward recapture. Castling protects your king and activates your rook. Their better move was to develop further. Nice move. Your piece now controls more squares. They develop a new piece. Well done, an excellent move. This move gives you the opportunity to win their pawn. Your better option was to sacrifice a knight for a nice tactic. You get a chance to pin a knight to the king. You defended your rook by pinning the attacking piece. They defended their knight, which was under attack. Your best move was to win a tempo by threatening a knight. This central challenge forces you to react in the middle. You trade off equal material. They exchange pieces of equal value. That was a fair trade. They recaptured from a previous trade, finishing the exchange. With that move, you chased the knight away. You are now able to win a pawn through a fork. That pawn was yours for the taking. Their best option was to set up a blockade. You missed a better way to move a knight to safety. You allowed the opponent to set up a blockade. This blocks black's pawn. Your pawn is no longer hanging and is now defended. Precise move from your opponent. You escape the check from the knight. They move the knight to safety. Your rook was under attack, and this move doesn't address the threat. They missed a chance to capture a vulnerable rook. A nice fork here puts both pieces under pressure. They move their king out of the check from your rook. You allowed the opponent to win a rook through a fork. They missed a chance to win a rook through a fork. You dodged the check, moving your king out of harm's way. They are threatening to win a knight by eventually adding pressure to a pinned piece. Good job. That's what I would have played too. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. You step your king away from the checking rook. The knight slips away as black avoids material loss. You step your king away from the checking knight. They've offered to trade pieces of equal value. Your passed pawn is one step closer to promotion. They exchange pieces of equal value. A clear recapture. I like their choice. I like their choice. I like their choice. A clear recapture. I like their choice. They place their piece on a blockade square,